Oh my good God in heaven, look what's back again. GOTCulture's back. Tell a friend. Adam Clery here, joined by Gallagher and James Hunt.
Hello.
How long is it till Game of Thrones comes back?
A long time.
April,
so
We're just
April-ish.
gonna pretend
6
to.
months.
Yeah.
6 months to go. Not really any catastrophic news to talk about. Can we do a GOTCulture? Yes, we can. Thank you very much. You've all missed this. I've had 12 months more presenting experience since last time, so this should be a barrel of laughs. Now, we're here today to talk about the Entertainment Weekly feature, which has revealed all manner of sexy little details. It's been a long time, hasn't it, boys?
Too long.
Too long.
So
When was the
long.
last time we actually had anything substantial to get excited about with Game of Thrones?
I don't even know.
There was something about Winterfell
Good start, this, yep.
a couple of months ago, and that was about it.
They talked about the battle scene,
Yes,
didn't they?
they
Because
did.
it said it was a slight... I think a lot of news sites sort of pitched it as a potential spoiler, but they just said there's going to be a big battle at Winterfell. I don't think that's a spoiler,
No, I mean,
because...
If you've seen season 7.
Yeah, the dead have just crossed the wall, so if there's not a battle at Winterfell, it's going to be a very short season. So we're going to try. There's been nothing spoilery, nothing that'll shock you or surprise you or reduce your enjoyment of season 8 in any way.
Not
we
on
hope.
purpose.
Yeah, because we don't want to do that because we want to watch it as well. But yeah, I don't think it's a spoiler to say there's going to be a big battle at Winterfell. But Entertainment Weekly dropped this big old feature
cover story, yeah.
cover story about season 8 of Game of Thrones, and in amongst it was numerous juicy details, including further details about this battle and what the cast thought about the script.
Yeah.
Should we start with that? Because that
Yes.
seems like the most interesting thing. Now, I haven't read this deliberately because I want you two to give it to me so you can thus give it to them. Oi, indeed, oi. So, what did they do? Did they just talk to some of the stars about what their thoughts were?
Yeah, so they interviewed like Kit Harington, Emilia Clarke, Sophie Turner, and then best of all Liam Cunningham, who plays Davos. And only Liam Cunningham and Kit Harington didn't read their scripts before the table read.
Right.
And Kit Harington didn't want to because he wanted to experience it with all the other actors.
He wanted
nice.
authentic emotion.
Liam Cunningham didn't because he couldn't open it.
You couldn't open it.
He couldn't get past the security.
He basically couldn't open the PDF,
In his words,
and then just gave
Oh,
up.
it was a digital one.
yeah, and it was the effing double security. He couldn't open it.
Now, I'm a fair maiden to this level of security, but you two do get sent things ahead of time from TV networks and what's all the time. What kind of double PDF security are we talking about here? What's he
mean-
going to have to put in? Like
I
a
don't-
retinal scan? What?
I don't think there was anything. I think he's literally
Couldn't
just
be
not,
arsed.
not being bothered. Yeah,
It's the most Davos thing possible.
it is.
You got to remember that as well as being Game of Thrones characters, these are real people, and Davos is just someone's very dad, isn't he? So
Yeah.
why be asked? But Jon Snow did read his
Eventually he did.
At the table read.
At the table read.
And he cried twice.
during the table read.
Yeah.
What a fanny, None of that here.
Yeah. Cried at the end.
We're definitely not going to cry
No.
when it's actually on, because
that's, you know,
come on, lads, let's get the.
Hardy northern
Actually,
men.
Yeah.
it genuinely hasn't made me cry.
Well,
The show
Not because
at all.
I'm hard.
That
That's
says
just
a lot about you as
The
a-
show hasn't.
an emotionless husk.
Have you cried at anything on the show?
He hasn't either. He would have told us.
Hodor was pretty.
Oh, hang on, maybe.
So
I think I did cry.
I didn't cry at Hodor.
I
What did I
think
cry?
that got a tear.
I'm sure there's been something for me, you know. I think I started welling up when he found Shay in Tywin's bed. I was like, oh, that's got to be tough to take that, like. But no, nobody
I
else.
wasn't a massive fan of her.
All right, fine. Well, moving on. Kit Harington read his, cried during the table
Yeah.
read. What did this feature tell us about other people who'd read it?
The reactions were mostly just, "Oh my god, holy, can't believe what's."
Holy can't believe.
Oh,
what's
we're trying not to swear anymore. That's a big
we
deal.
are, yeah, we are.
Regular long-time viewers may notice we're not in the stuffy black pitch-black studio. We are by a window. Look, this is going to ruin the white balance, but there's the outdoors. As well as... What else has changed? Second studio setup.
Yeah.
Older, wiser, tireder.
The lineup.
The lineup slightly changed. We'll not talk about that. So who else said what?
That's pretty much it, really.
I mean, that was it. There wasn't a great deal more than that. No. Peter Dinklage said some stuff, but that wasn't about the script.
Well,
so I
let's
don't know
talk
whether
about
he
that then.
actually read anything.
So what Peter Dinklage said was the battle, which we've spoken quite a bit about.
It's the Battle
already.
of Winterfell.
The Battle of Winterfell.
Yes. Although, no, it isn't necessarily that one, because they call it the main battle when they're talking about that bit. So that might be a different one to the Battle of Winterfell.
Do you mean to tell me in the closing season of Game of Thrones we might be getting upwards of 2 battles?
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the Sapochnik battle. But is that the Winterfell battle?
Yes.
Okay,
It's-
that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I thought there might have been a different one.
There will be more than one
Yeah.
battle, presumably, but the biggest one is the one at Winterfell.
We know that for the big one's going to be the Winterfell
Yeah,
one.
and this is what
Interesting.
Peter Dinklage said makes the Battle of the Bastards look like a theme park.
Wow. Theme parks are muddy, historically.
True.
And full of
Yeah.
shouty white men. So I
Yes.
guess that's not really too much of a stretch.
Which theme park do you think he was talking about?
Alton Towers.
I don't know.
I've never been to one that's been as good as Battle of the Bastards.
Never been to Disneyland.
Flamingo Land was pretty good. Diggerland is pretty good.
It depends what you can buy good. If you go for value for money, no, absolutely nothing's been
No.
as good as
Yeah.
Battle of the Bastards. But, you know, you get what you pay for.
Diggerland is up there.
I've never been to Diggerland.
No, that's because you're an adult.
We are getting slightly off topic.
Yes.
What else did Peter Dinklage say?
But that was it. Literally, that was
his
it.
cause.
You two sold me on doing this podcast
He
because
got
this
one
great
line.
big feature. And like, so what did they say? That's it.
Well, maybe if you'd done the prep work.
Deliberate. This is the prep work to bring me the prep
work.
on camera so we can all talk
We are
about
the
it.
experts.
The alleged colour commentary on this. What else was in the feature?
So the battle, which I keep trying to talk about,
Right.
ignore the quote bit.
Uh-huh.
That's
Nah, yeah, it was just one
it was
line,
one quote.
One quote.
But so when this was first reported, it was 55 nights of shooting.
Which is a long
Which
time.
That's 2 bleeding months.
so the Battle of the Bastards was about 25 days. So it's over double the Battle of the Bastards.
Oh.
And
But-
then this cover story reveals that was just the outdoor scenes. And Sapochnik kept shooting for weeks in the studio afterwards.
Wow. Now, this sort of, we'll get back to the magazine feature in a second because this nicely allows me to segue into something else. Talking about the scale of this.
Yeah.
This almost sounds, James, like you're talking like about a big budget Hollywood movie. And we nearly indeed were, weren't we? Because there
That's
was talk
true.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be the original plan when Game of Thrones wasn't, when it was just hipsters like us watching it, and not
Just 10
not
million
even you.
hipsters.
Yeah, and not like 100 billion. I don't know how many people watch Game of Thrones. It's clearly not that many. The plan was to have it as 3 movies to end it, the same as The Walking Dead have just decided to
To
do.
be released in the cinemas.
Yeah.
Well, that's unheard of, isn't it? Surely?
It would be, yeah. I mean, The Dark Tower was going to do something similar where they were going to mix things up, but that film was very bad. So
Was the Dark Tower Stephen King thing?
Yeah.
it was. That was all very confusing. But no, Game of Thrones wasn't as popular as they thought it was going to be, and apparently the showrunners just made up some lies and said it was going to be really self-contained and it wouldn't need to have any scale. And HBO were like, "Oh, that's fine. That won't cost very much money or anything." And then
And then
it
Wow.
didn't turn out that way.
So they've literally ran this the same way I used to run that wrestling magazine. I'll do it in a week. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so James, as a long-standing Game of Thrones televisual fan,
Yeah.
indeed a television editor, how would you felt about having to hand off your responsibilities to the film crew?
absolutely
me?
not. That's,
I've got a hair, but
that's
continue.
lovely. No, I think Game of Thrones
Ooh, it's
is
a
a
long
TV
one.
show, and
I've got in there. Look at that.
Let's
well,
not speculate
let's
on
do a
that front.
podcast on that.
Do carry on.
Don't know what I'm talking about now.
If it was passed over to the world of film, how would that have worked? Would it have worked? Would there have been a backlash?
I don't think it would have, because it is a TV show, as much as they try to spin it as being a 73-hour movie or whatever they want to call it. And yes, like the final episodes will be bigger and like say 80, 90 minutes long, so getting towards movie length.
We've had that confirmed now, haven't we? All the final episodes are going to be.
Well, actually, not all. We were told that they were all going to be feature-length films, feature-length shows, and they're not. Some of them are longer than other ones.
I mean, they don't know yet because they haven't cut
Yeah.
the episodes up, so they're just starting post-production, so we don't know.
But they're not going to be 2 hours.
Just going to touch on what you said there. The starting post. Has everything been filmed? Barring reshoots, everything's now been shot.
Filming is done.
Yeah, I don't think there will be any.
So
reshoots.
it's happened.
Yes.
Whatever is going to happen
Has happened.
has now happened.
Yeah.
Wow. April. That's bollocks. That's
Yeah.
I want to know now.
Well, they've confirmed that they're putting Ghost in, so that's why we've got to wait till April
Oh God, yeah.
to get real dogs.
Yes.
Wolves, I should say.
Didn't we write off Ghost? Didn't we say it was already dead?
I don't
He
think
was
so.
already dead. She was already dead.
I refuse to accept that.
No, they did that ridiculous goodbye scene. That seemed like they probably weren't going to bring Ghost back.
That was Nymeria, though,
That was
wasn't it?
Nymeria, yeah.
No, I don't mean that one. I mean the one where they just went, "Oh, Ghost's not here anymore." When there should have actually been
Yeah.
a scene
Yeah.
where it
When
said
Ghost
where
should have been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Should have just had a cardboard, just like walk around in the background. Nobody would have told.
But Ghost has interesting things to do this series.
Such as, would you care to speculate?
Be a wolf.
Ooh.
I think me and James had a
White
speculation.
Walkers.
We had a speculation conversation because James is deathly terrified of spiders. Everyone. And there could be ice spiders in this.
Spiders as big as hounds.
Yeah.
I'll have you.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow. What, like, as in as big as dogs or as big as the hound?
The hound. Yeah.
Hound. No,
By which I mean Wilborn.
no, the Bantam Hound.
Yeah, the Bantam Hound.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's so much. If you've only been watching our Game of Thrones output, you've missed so much in the last year or so. Wilborn has a nickname, for example.
And Bantam.
And Banter, yes.
It's fine. It's fine.
This has never been. It has never been done before. The concept of moving them to feature-length movies, have they? Do you think that's what put them off?
Yeah, I mean, HBO.
Nobody has any idea how that would work. Basically.
Yeah, and HBO, they want subscribers. They want people signing up to their service. They're not interested in box office necessarily, despite being called for on box office.
Is that what HBO stands
It is.
for?
It does.
Is that actually?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Which makes no sense.
Never even thought about it.
It makes absolutely no sense.
No, no.
Well, it will now.
So they obviously wanted it to be a TV show. So this was around season 3, they were pitching this, and HBO were like, "No, this is a TV show. We'll make it work. Whatever you need when that time comes, you'll
It was
have."
a
regret
flex, effectively.
Really?
and,
I think so.
and the time has come, and they're getting 15 million an episode. So
That's a lot of money. I'm sure I did a video on this not long after the budget got revealed, which you kindly penned for me. Can you put that into perspective for like other TV shows per episode?
right, put me on the spot. Yeah,
'Cause The Walking Dead gets what per episode? Is it like-
Very little.
it's a few
A
million.
lot less
million.
than it's supposed to.
But I suppose if you compare it to the scale of Game of Thrones, which started off as like say 5-6 million, and then you got up to things like 10 million for season 6 and season 7. So it's going up again from that.
Didn't I see The Crown or something? It's
Yeah,
like
that's-
something absurd.
That's well over 100 million per season.
How many episodes per season?
10. So
Whoa.
you're talking like
That, but that is like that was, other than Game of Thrones, like the most expensive show.
Yeah.
This is 50% nearly more expensive than the next most expensive show. That is a lot. That.
it is.
It is. That's why they have to kill everyone.
Nah.
I don't mean in this series, I mean-
we'll get on. We'll get on the
over there.
speculation in a moment. Actually, let's get onto it now. Who have you got and why? Who's sitting on the throne?
I think me and James agree.
I think me
Anyway.
and James.
Do we? What? Resting
Yeah.
on the throne?
Jon Snow. Yeah, me and you holding hands forever.
Oh,
Jon Snow for you. Jon Snow for you.
yeah.
Jon Snow for me, which makes a very, very boring
Yeah,
podcast.
hell.
But not really, because there's many ways that he could get there, and there's lots of drama.
But don't infringe on future list videos,
No, that's
Simon.
true.
You've got to keep them wanting more.
And Tormund will definitely be sitting next to him.
You
I don't
believe-
even care.
Tormund's corpse.
Tormund's.
Yeah, weekend
Rotting.
at Tormund's.
What else have we got from the Entertainment Weekly feature? Peter Dinklage, Kit Harington.
The season opens, not unsurprisingly, at Winterfell.
Right.
So that means we're going to get a battle pretty quickly. By the look of
necessarily.
it.
So it says the scene will be, in season 1 when King Robert and his procession arrive at Winterfell.
I remember that, yes.
It basically says we're going to get that, but with Daenerys and her people.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
Nice poetry.
Nice,
Poetry.
everything coming full
Reflective,
circle.
It's 'cause
yes.
Star Wars rhymes. I mean, Game of Thrones.
And then, so they're going to rock about Winterfell. Sansa's not going to be happy with Jon.
Which isn't a spoiler,
because he's-
as much as they claimed it was, because she wasn't in the last series.
She did. Yes, I
She
did.
said, "Don't
I
go
did
and do
say.
that."
Yeah.
I did say before we started shooting this, because you mentioned that, didn't you? I said, "All right, it's a bit of a spoiler. Leave that off." But no, as was correctly pointed out by Simon, Sansa did say if Jon bent the knee to Daenerys, she would be not best pleased. So that's not really a spoiler.
No,
It's a bit.
but they're going to double down on that a bit. Not that there's a lot of time to really get into that.
Oh, Sansa's going to do my nut in here if she's giving it that all this season. It's literally an army of the dead with a bloody ice dragon. Just wind it in, deal with it later.
Yeah,
Oh, anything you worried about for this season?
everyone.
No, not like in terms of characters, but anything
Okay.
you're worried about in terms of... Because there was some talk of season 7 and maybe it's lost its edge slightly.
I think my concern would be losing the story and the character in
For
the
spectacle.
in the scale and spectacle. Yeah,
Interesting.
I think there's too many characters still alive, personally.
Well, I thought they didn't kill enough off in season 7. It felt like there were so many scenarios where Game of Thrones, as we know and love it, would have not hesitated to just whap somebody's head off. But time and time again, there was a miraculous escape, and I just thought...
and
either-
which another one is coming when they could easily have. I mean, I don't want one of them to die, but they've basically confirmed through accident, that
the collapsing wall.
that didn't. Well, that wasn't as fatal as we might have thought it was going to be for not just like those two main characters, but like all of them. All of the wildlings.
It wasn't presented fatally. Like there was no.
No,
I didn't
but
get
it
the
was
impression
very
they could have done. Certainly.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna kill those characters off, they would have just done it. Like I wasn't like, oh, is they gonna live?
That's true, but in Game of Thrones terms, like in the past, you would have thought that those two would have been killed because they were expendable characters.
Yeah.
As much as one of them is a brilliant character. I know I can't. It hurts me to say it. And also, I think there's too many Starks still alive. Personally, I think Jaime probably.
I thought he was a goner. I thought he was a goner. He wasn't. I thought he was a goner when he charged the dragon. He wasn't. I thought he was a goner when the mountain rocked up when they were having a little argument. He wasn't. Thought Bronn was a goner. He wasn't. Thought Tormund was a goner. He wasn't. Thought Hound was a goner. He wasn't. Thought Jon was a goner. Thought Jon was a goner. I thought what?
There's still so much story that doesn't involve the Night King, which is good, which is great. Like, obviously, it's going to be a really rich story, and it won't. That's why they're doing what James's concern was about the spectacle, that the story will get lost. That's why they're doing that. So there's balance to all of those things. But in trying to balance it, they might be overstuffing it with story. I really, really want to see the Clegane Bowl or whatever it's called, Clegane Bowl.
I never pronounced that right. Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl. Yeah, the Hound versus the Mountain, obviously. But I don't know why it had to have been in this series. It's obviously a big part of it, but it could have been like when previous series have sagged. Like we went to Dawn for like 6 months. What it felt like. Just get rid of that and advance some of the story into one of the other series. And then we could have had that as more of a thing and not this is a precursor chapter to the big event, and it's gonna lose some luster because of it.
Do you have complete faith? Because we are way beyond the books now. Do you have complete faith in them giving this the end it deserves? I know that's a big question, but
I have most faith in them, not complete.
Yeah, I'm about 80% confident. Well, no, not 80% confident they'll do it right. My feelings are they will do an 80% good job.
Like the thing is, they're not going to please everyone. They can't please everyone. It's impossible.
Think they're gonna make it so big that it won't matter about any concerns like that. I think they've already shown signs that they were doing that. Like you were saying that it was losing its edge last series, but then all of a sudden there's an ice dragon and everyone's like, oh God, remember that bit?
Yeah.
Let's not remember any of the other bits. So I think that's what's going to happen in this last series. I know, exactly.
Anything else we got from this Entertainment Weekly spread?
I think that's pretty much covered it.
What did it do for you two emotionally? Does it feel a lot closer than it did before you read that?
There was one more thing, and that was the guy who... the guy who wrote it was saying he got to visit the set for the final episode.
Oh, yes.
And he was talking about how there was sets he'd never seen before and characters he did not expect to make the finale who were there.
Tormund.
So obviously that could just be hyping it up and stuff like that, but...
Nobody didn't really need to say that.
No, he didn't.
I think everybody's got different expectations of who will be there by the end and who hasn't. So I don't think that's too much of a thing to say, really.
One of the most
there's
important...
a core you can accept. Like,
yeah.
But,
one of the key quotes from this whole article was they were talking about how the ending was going, and at one point, one of the creators, I would forget which one it was it Benioff?
It was Brian Cogman.
That's, the writer, said that they felt that they were sticking true to George R. R. Martin's intention to invert this type of story. Yeah. So that could mean all sorts of things, but it means that we're probably not going to get all of the things that we expect, because our expectations aren't always based on Game of Thrones. They're sort of based on fantasy tropes. Anyway.
Yeah, fantasy tropes. I've always said fantasy tropes are the most established.
Even the idea of Jon Snow sitting on the throne is probably a trope.
Yeah.
It's just like James said to me before, it's how he gets there that will probably be
because he is the chosen one, if this narrative has a chosen one. But then if you get like Daenerys dying, for example, before that, it kind of subverts it.
And I think a lot of it's going to be people who we think are protected characters. That fits in with this unexpected people in the finale. People who think who are protected characters. So Sam and Tyrion have always been. Those two are George R. R. Martin. So they're going to make it. But I don't think those two will. I think maybe one of them will, but I think one of the big inversions will be that one of those characters will die.
Wow.
And not even in the finale. I don't think he'll make the finale.
We're going to have to do a big, bold predictions for season 8 video,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Yes.
But today is not,
not.
that today. Today was just merely going over the Entertainment Weekly podcast and talking about
Getting
how
you
we're
ready,
feeling about
priming,
getting us
Just
ready.
getting hype.
Because this is the official start 6 months in advance of our season 8 coverage. Set your DVRs.
Yeah.
How long are we going to do these? One every few weeks?
I don't know. Well, we've got to do season 1, season 2, season 3.
We are toying with the idea. Let us know what you think about this. We are going to do a season recap podcast in the weeks leading up. So, 7 weeks before it, we'll do the season 1 recap, and the next week season 2 and season 3 and season 4, and go through it all. If you'd like to see that, let us know in the comments. We always do value your feedback. Pinky cross my heart swears, honest to God. But any other business today, boys? Anything you want to say about season 8 of Game of Thrones?
It's quite exciting, isn't it?
Yep, we'll leave it at that. So thank you very much for joining us on the first season 8 GOTCulture episode. I have been Adam Clery. This has been
Simon Gallagher.
This has been
Jameson.
You can follow him on Twitter.
Cy Gallagher.
Follow him on Twitter.
Jameson182.
And you follow me, still 2182. I love that. And you can still follow me at Adam Clery. And we're all on at WhatCulture GOT. In the meantime, though, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.